All right, so I've started the recording. Good morning, everyone. Just to introduce myself, my name's Ishwar Iyer, and I'm one of the leads here at the National Weather Service in Wakefield, Virginia. You should be able to see my screen and hear me. If you're unable to hear me, drop something in the chat, please. So that way I can look at that. But hopefully everything's working. So we'll go ahead and get started. Um, so right now, uh, I know the big story nationwide is Hurricane Milton, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But just a summary of our local weather. We're expecting a fairly quiet week, and dry weather generally prevails through the week, although it'll be noticeably cooler by Wednesday through Friday, with breezy conditions possible near the coast as Milton tracks well to our south, and with some lingering nuisance to low and minor tidal flooding. But the tidal flooding will be nothing compared to what we've seen in the past few weeks, where we had a pretty just a con. I mean, just weeks of consecutive cycles of minor to moderate flooding. And then marine wise, a cold front's going to come through later today, and that will result in small craft conditions across the marine area later today through tonight, with northerly winds with gusts as high as 25 knots. So there's that cold front. Where later today, we're not expecting much in the way of rain at all. Maybe a shower across northeast North Carolina, but the chance of that is under 20%. And then when you look at the remainder of the week, high pressure remains in control, with Milton tracking well to our south, and it just dry weather is expected, with some cooler temperatures. Some upper 30s are possible in the morning by Friday, especially west of 95. But we're not expecting any sort of widespread frost or freeze. Again, no precip is expected. And then even the next 7 days, we're really not looking at much at all across the local area. A little bit down here with the cold front today, but that's about it. Just kind of looking at our summary for region-wide temperatures. Really no precipitation to speak of, but you can see the cooler temperatures several mornings in the 40s, especially once you get away from the immediate coast as we head into the middle to latter part of the week. And some of these, I mean, Louisa to Farmville, even into the inland locations of southern Virginia, like Emporia, you could certainly see upper 30s by Friday and maybe even Saturday morning. Marine wise, this is our. Oops, sorry about that. Some small craft conditions today, with some, you probably will see some gusts above 25 knots, but we're not looking at gale or storm conditions. And this would be later today into tonight. And I see the question about providing a copy of today's presentation. Let me put that into the handouts real quick. Sorry about that. It's really good. All right, it should be in the handouts, copy of the presentation, and it's the same. This is the same as the weekly briefing that we sent out earlier. So that should be in the handouts now. Yep, you're welcome. All right, so going into the marine, you could see today, tonight, and then potentially later this week, some small craft conditions are possible. So again, I mean, it looks like a lower end small craft with northerly winds, with gusts to 25 knots, sustained 15 to 20, with seas building here to 5 to 7 feet. And then again, you're looking at kind of a decrease in winds as we head into the middle of the week, and then picking up later as Milton tracks to our south. And that's just, the seas 5 to 6, maybe 7 feet, and then building back up later in the week. And then coastal flooding wise, in the usual spots, just nuisance flooding is expected for the next few tide cycles, mainly with the higher of the two astronomical tides. And this is just corresponding to, inundation of up to a half foot above ground level in vulnerable areas. And again, we saw several cycles of minor to moderate flooding in the past couple of weeks. But again, with this next few days, again, just expecting just the usual nuisance stuff. So again, it'll persist through the next few days, but it won't. We're not looking at anything like we saw the past couple of weeks. And then just even though we're into October, just going over just given the seas and swell, we will have an elevated rip current risk continuing through the entire week. Generally, high risk today and tomorrow, maybe moderate Wednesday, and then likely high by Thursday and Friday. And then Milton actually was upgraded to a Category 4. So let me just bring that. This is I'm going to just show you the updated track here. You should be able to see the updated track. This is as of just 11 a.m. Eastern. So Milton now has sustained winds of 155 miles per hour, and it will, again, is forecast to make landfall along the west coast of Florida Wednesday evening. So if you have interest down there, definitely will be extremely important to monitor the situation, as this will result in extremely dangerous, life-threatening conditions down there, as it's forecast to make landfall as a major hurricane with up potentially 8 to 12 feet of storm surge. So that's again, rightfully so, the main weather story for the nation as a whole this week. And again, Milton will track well to our south, so we're not looking at any sort of impacts across the local area. And looking ahead into next week, below normal precip chances continue, with temperatures near or potentially slightly above average. But mostly dry weather with no big rainmakers in sight for the next couple of weeks here. And I'll leave the highlight slide up, and if anyone has any questions, let me stop the recording here.